unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Wohl, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders right here where we call home. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, Shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation. Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grayslake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grayslake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grayslake. 1 minute, your world is normal. The next, it's gone. A flood, a fire, a crime scene. Your home shattered. Your business shut down. Your life on pause. But in the darkest hour, when chaos knocks at your door, that's when Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County shows up. Not just a company, not just a cleanup crew, but neighbors, parents, coaches, locals who care. Drake and his team aren't just restoring properties. They're restoring peace, restoring dignity, restoring lives. So when your worst day arrives, call the oh no guy who becomes your thank God guy. Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County. Locally owned, nationally known, unshakably trusted. From devastation to restoration. Serve Pro. Northwest Lake County. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Discovering Grayslake. We're recording at my new place. I am right downtown Center Street at Bellevue Studios. Actually, Kristen and I shared an office years and years ago. But shout out to Kristen that she was so kind to offer and give me a new home here. So if you guys are looking for photography for a wedding, for family portraits, for senior photos, for baby photos, or just simple headshot, whatever you guys need. Kristen is awesome and a huge person in our community, always giving back. So Kristen, thank you very much as I knock your table over. So today, really fun that I have Dr. Jake Giese.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll see. I'm on the ball if I remember all this stuff. If you knew me better, you'd be like, if he remembers things, he's good. Flex forward.
Yep.
All right. And is it physical therapy?
Yep.
Is that what it is?
Yep. Physical therapy.
Awesome.
Well, and sports recovery.
Nice. All right. Let's start up and tell everybody where you are located.
Yeah. So I'm in Grayslake. I'm at 1033 Progress Drive in Grayslake. Okay. So I'm kind of right over by the Jewel and the post office, right in between there.
Right.
If you know where Grayslake Rehab is, we're right down the street from them as well.
Yeah, it's so cool back there because it's what Corporate Circle
Yep.
and then Progress and all of that.
Exactly.
So and our other friends at City Chevy. So
yep.
all the peeps back there.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you have this business somewhere else before you moved to Grayslake, or did you open here?
Yes, I've had a long string of entrepreneurship for the last couple of years, since probably like 2021. Like I did online business things. I helped do online training for hiking, actually. Weirdly enough, I'm a hiker. And so I was a travel physical therapist. I was traveling around the country. So I did a lot of hiking in my spare time. And so I was doing online coaching for hikers. And then I kind of did what I'm doing now, but in Wisconsin, when I used to live up in Wapaka for a couple years. And so then back in 2024 in September, that's when I started it here in Grayslake. Well, actually, at the time I was in Lake Phillip, but then now I've been in Grayslake for about a year or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and how is that location working out for you? Is it?
I love it.
Good.
Yeah, we're inside of CrossFit Kilter. And so I'm a big fitness guy myself. I do a lot of sports and things, but CrossFit is awesome, and you get a lot of clients from CrossFit also.
Sure.
So I love the location. Yeah.
Okay, I have to know about the hiking thing. So when you're saying you're hiking and training, were you doing that self-serving because you wanted to go hike and still have a job?
Well, I mean, no, it's just kind of like at the time, everybody, I think in the physical therapy space, they were like looking for other things to do. And I was like, you know what? Like, I realized like there's not really a lot of people that are doing like hiking specific, like either rehab or training. Like there was really only one other person that I saw doing that. And she like will train people to do like the PCT, like Pacific Crest Trail, or like the Appalachian Trail. Like she'll help them like go start to finish. And she would even like bring her van and go on the trail and like help them as they're doing the hike, which I didn't want to do, but like, so I was like, okay, well, how can I like help these people do this? Cause have a training background. And so why don't I help people that, like I'm doing the same thing, and these are my people. So like, let's see if we can help them. So
that's awesome. I was just giving you crap too.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe you can get your loves in with work all at the same time. That's kind of fun.
Right.
Okay. So sports injuries. So people that come to you for different stuff. Tell me the most common person that you see. What is there a most common injury or something they're working on?
So I mean, I specialize in shoulders. So I see everybody from, I've had shoulder pain for years and years. I've even, gone to surgery, rotator cuff surgery, all that stuff, to the people that, I just hurt my shoulder today. I tweak something, or I'm feeling something pop, and I want to know what's going on. Those are the people that I help the most. So I've had people, really crazy stories with shoulders, and that's why a lot of people come to me for shoulders. One great example was a guy that I worked with that I met at a gym. I do a lot of workshops. I go to gyms and different places and do community events, usually for free, like free body work or free education. And I met this guy, and obviously won't say names or anything, but he came to me with a rotator cuff tear, and he came to me with the paper from his surgeon, was like, hey, I've got this, this is what they found. They found a full thickness rotator cuff tear for 3 of his 4 different muscles of his rotator cuff. 3 of the 4 were torn, almost completely. And he's like, they're telling me I need to get surgery. And I was like, he's like, do you think, you could fix this without getting surgery? And I was like, well, I can't really say anything, yes or no. Like, you have to come in and see what you're capable of, and then we'll kind of go from there. So he came in, we did an evaluation, and with me, I do a full body thing. So I don't usually just look at one part. I look at everything. And so through that experience, we were able to figure out exactly what was going on with him. And this guy did 6 months of therapy prior. He then was told he needed to get the surgery to fix things. He couldn't work out at the gym anymore. That's what he wanted to do. And through 5 visits with this guy, we got him completely back, pain-free, full range of motion, and in the gym, no surgery needed. It was incredible. Awesome. And so that's kind of what I'm known for, is helping people that maybe have been skewed through other physical therapy, where they maybe have tried it, they thought they did everything, and then but there was probably something they were missing along the way, because we can get into this later on, but healthcare needs to be kind of fixed and redone a little bit. And so we're able to really focus on what people need and help them out. So shoulders, knees, anything from ACLs, knee surgeries, anything like that are big things. Back pain, sciatica are a lot of the things that I see, but shoulders are the number one. Neck and shoulders are kind of my bread and butter. Beautiful. Why a lot of people see me.
And is that something so you see post-surgery, so even people that are contemplating surgery and people that have already had it?
Yeah.
Right?
So to prevent surgery, and then people that have had it. Right. Correct. Yeah.
And I think people jump into, especially, it seems like everybody I see just had their shoulder done or their knees done, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a bad thing to come see somebody like you
to
see if you can fix it before you have to go under the knife,
right?
Because, obviously some people need it, right?
Yeah.
That they have to have it.
Yeah.
But it's good to look for another option anyway at the same time.
Yeah, and even too, this isn't talked about enough, but people will go through rehab, and a lot of times, say you had your knee done or something like that, people will do the initial rehab and they go through it, but there's this thing that isn't talked about a lot where they didn't take you to the next level. They just got maybe your muscles firing a little bit. They got your full range of motion, but then eventually down the road, something's going to end up coming back and getting you. And then usually I'll see people like 5 years after they've had their surgery or something like that, and they're like, why am I having all these issues? I just had my surgery done 5 years ago. I shouldn't be having these issues. It's because they didn't take it all the way through their whole rehab process.
You mean that people get distracted and lazy and they think that they want to get back? But yeah, I guess that's a serious thing to think about. Anybody that just had their knee done or their shoulder, like to finish your physical therapy, right? Mm-hmm. And that sounds like something you have to continue. It's just not like you do it for a while and then, I'll be fine now.
Or just be really specific about it. So, instead of just getting generic exercises that everybody gets that you can find online, find out, does this person have a deficit in, this is going too technical, but a deficit in like concentric or eccentric strength. There's two different types of muscle strength, and if you're lacking in one, then you can have issues with certain activities down the road if you don't actually target that specifically. So, you can get the bare minimum by doing the basic exercises, but there's a lot more that you can do to be very, very specific to what that person needs and like give them the best results that they're looking for, down the road. So
I love that. We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano. And Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce isn't just networking, it's opportunity. Members get exposure through local events, online directories, and social media, plus access to exclusive resources that help businesses succeed. Make new connections, grow your brand, and be part of the events that bring our town together. Learn more and join today at grayslakechamber.com. The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce, the new wave of business.
Yeah. Let's talk a little about like where you grew up, your education, and how you end up here. Is this something that interests you, physical therapy, from a young age?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part. So I grew up in Wisconsin kid, small town, Fond du Lac area, technically North Fond du Lac, really small school, like 100 kids in that class. Wow. So really small, right, compared to around here. And, with that, I was able to participate in a lot of sports that a lot of people couldn't do around here. So for me, like I could, be a tri-sport athlete. So I was a soccer kid, basketball in the winter, and then track in the spring. Soccer was my thing, though. Soccer was my jam. And so basically I was doing track and basketball to just train for soccer. I remember there was one time I was at a track meet and I would run like 3 races or whatever, and then I'd go to my coach and be like, hey man, like right down the road was my soccer practice. I was like, can I go to soccer practice now? Obviously they didn't let me do that at the time, but like soccer was my thing. So I got hurt all the time because of soccer, concussions, sprained and strained ankles, the whole works. And so I was always in physical therapy. And through that experience, I had a really good therapist at the time who used to actually be an athletic trainer for, I think she was the Jaguars or something like that. So she had like some pretty high level professional experience. So she was running me through all these like high level athletic, training things. And I was like, geez, this is really cool. This is like performance for somebody that gets hurt. Like, wow, I want to do that. So at that time, I was in high school. So that's kind of when I started wanting to be a physical therapist, and I got really into science and, anatomy and physiology and stuff like that. That's kind of where it started.
What school were you at first for college?
For college. So the whole time I went to Carroll University in Waukesha, Wisconsin. So a lot of people don't know this, but I don't know if it still is, but at the time I was there, it was the largest physical therapy program in the nation. They took 80 students at a time. Generally, like they're like 20 to 40 is what they would take. So, for me, I was a Wisconsin kid, so it was pretty close to home. It was like, around an hour-ish away. And then also like one of the best schools. They had the highest, ability to get in or pass passed the PT exam board and everything like that. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go there. I get the highest chance of going in, and they got good scores. So I went there. Fortunately, it's expensive, more expensive school being private school, but obviously it worked out taking that route. So
That's
It was
awesome.
either that or try to go to I was also trying to do D1 soccer at University of Green Bay, but decided not to go because of the whole schooling situation. You'd have to transfer your credits and stuff, and it would have been a longer process to try to get into PT school that way. So I decided to just go straight to PT school and do that. So
That must have been a tough decision, D1 sport that you've probably loved your entire life, and have to make your an adult decision, so to say.
For sure. Yeah, even when I went to Carroll because they had the soccer program I wanted. They were very good, and they had the PT program. And then turns out I didn't even end up playing the soccer. I showed up, and then I was like, what am I doing? I'm here for the academics side of it. That's why I decided not to go to the other schools. And so I just kind of went all in on the physical therapy at that point.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so then how do you make your way, because I really want to know eventually, how do you decide to come to Grayslake for your business? Because I know you live very close.
Yeah.
But having a place here. So
Sure.
After you graduate, what's your first steps in, getting a job, and how do you do stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long story, but we'll try to condense it. Basically, graduated in 2019, so I'm going to be around 6-7 years out now. But through that whole process, I did travel physical therapy with my fiance. And so we traveled around the country. We went to South Carolina and did some travel contracts. So through that process, I've worked in every single setting basically that you can, from pediatrics, geriatrics, neuro, orthopedics, home health, hospital, all those different settings. And then COVID hit, and then with COVID, everybody in that space through travel lost their jobs. So there was 5 jobs nationwide at that point. Generally there's 200 plus alone in California, maybe 20 to 40 in Wisconsin, or 20 to 40 in, Illinois or South Carolina or whatever. But at that time there was 5 jobs. And everybody was kind of losing it because no one was able to really work because of COVID. So we decided to move back to Wisconsin, where I came from. Maria, my fiance, she lives in Waukegan, so she moved there for a little bit. And then we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, and, ended up getting a job up in Waupaca, Wisconsin. Just randomly went there because Maria was looking for a specific type. She's a physical therapist too. We met in school. And so she was looking for a specific type of, setting. She wanted an orthopedic setting, and at the time it was very hard to find. So she had to move up to Waupaca, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll go up there too. And then so at that time I was doing home health, and then I did home health for 4 or 5 years, and then at a point there we decided okay, we're done being in Waupaca, let's move closer to her parents. So that's why we moved to now I live in Lindenhurst, so we could be close to her family. And then through that, I started working at some other home health clinics here, and then basically to get to where I am right now, I liked home health. I liked the flexibility of it. The pay was good, but I was not feeling like I was fulfilling what I was meant to do, which was make the system that we, for physical therapy and that, make that system better, make healthcare better. Unfortunately, I feel like healthcare as a whole, and physical therapy is a part of that, has kind of really gone downhill in the past couple years, just because of, everything's very much becomes a factory. It's all about numbers. It's all about making money, and less about the patient experience, and helping people through that process. And so when I did home health, it was the same thing. It was it felt like I was going every single day to the job. I was happy I was helping people, but I was like, I can do more than this. I can do more than just show up to your house, give you a sheet of exercises, tell you the same thing as everybody else, and then, move on. And then, you have people that do bad and you do people that do well. And a lot of times there's a lot of other factors in there that could make them do much better, knowing them as a person and helping them with what they're going on in their life and like all the other stuff that's going on. But unfortunately, that's the normal system doesn't let you get that far, and then people just get the bare minimum, whereas they could get a lot better. So that's why I was like, okay, I gotta do this all in for myself and change healthcare so that I can like get much better results than like what other people are getting, at other places. So yeah,
that's awesome, especially when you really want to help somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And that's believing in what you do is a huge thing,
right? When
you don't get satisfaction out of doing bare minimum.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And so now with your place, you are able to see them longer. I'm sure that people that you have relationships with, right?
Yeah.
Because you get
100%.
to know them and all of their plans and like, what is the average? Like, does somebody need 2 times? Do you have clients that have been with you for years? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I've had people that are with me for years. So like, I do the physical therapy portion, which is like helping people get out of pain, but then I also do like more recovery body work sessions. So this can be, this isn't necessarily tied to your insurance. So it's more of like a wellness thing. So I can basically get you back to where you want to be. And then just to maintain where you're at, you can come in regularly and get those, maintenance sessions to help you feeling good. So body work is kind of like, I would say it's like a structured massage, and it's less of just doing, a massage to kind of feel good. It's a massage to kind of work out like the knots that you're dealing with or the tightness that you're dealing with, and just keep your body moving well so that you keep moving. And then I also do strength training and like athletic development for kids and adults. So we kind of get all, the whole spectrum of it all. So you're not just seeing people for a short period of time. I'm seeing people for years because they'll, get back, they'll get out of pain and get moving better. And then we keep them moving better. And then we can also do the training to keep them, progress them farther than where they are right now.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I know somebody's listening right now that's having they're holding their shoulder because they just had their thing done or debating whether to get surgery or not. So one of the big questions when somebody comes to you is, what kind of insurance do you take? Like, how does that go? Like, how do they contact? What is the process of like getting in? Like, to see you? Yeah.
So getting in is easy as you can text the phone number on the website or on Google,
or in the show notes here.
Or the show notes. Right. You can call that number.
Looking for a place where there's always something happening? Welcome to the Grayslake Village Center. Whether you're planning a family outing, a date night, or a fun night out with friends, the Village Center has something for everyone, year-round. Enjoy a fantastic mix of restaurants, unique retail shops, and exciting events that bring the community together. And just steps away, you'll find Central and Gelatin Parks, home of the library, aquatic center, skate park, senior center, and numerous recreational opportunities. Whew, that's a mouthful. So if you're looking for something to do, come explore, dine, shop, and play right here in the heart of Grayslake. Find out more at grayslakevillagecenter.com. And go check them out on social media and give them a like, give them a follow.
Basically, that's the easiest way. There's other forms and other ways to schedule too, or going to local events that I'm at is another way. But otherwise, just it takes a text, call, email. And basically through that process, you'll be talking to me because right now it's me, and then I have an assistant, but she's not local, so she kind of helps with other things. So if you're dealing with scheduling, you'll be dealing with me. And then from that process, we talk about what are the best options for you. Are you in pain? Are you looking for something that's just kind of to feel better and maintain where you're at? Or maybe like a full body thing? It all kind of determines on which service you would be best fit for.
Sure.
But then generally I take Blue Cross Blue Shield is PPO plans is the insurance that I take. And then any other insurance that, isn't that, basically people would pay the cash rate, and then we can provide a super bill to them so that they can give to their insurance, so then they can seek reimbursement. So you can try to get reimbursement for those services. Some people have gotten 80% reimbursement. Some people got 50% reimbursement. It kind of depends on the insurance and their benefits and their, have they met their deductible or they're out of pocket, all those things in their plan. So I help them. Basically, I'll look up all that information for them, see if they're in network, see if we can figure out what the reimbursement would be, or if that would be a good option, and then figure out, what service would be a good fit for them based on where they're at. So
Isn't it terrible that we have to go through all of those steps you just said? That's not even
right?
working
It's
to make them feel better.
2 minutes of that's how we figure out what we need to do.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, that would be a good reason to have an assistant, right? They can help
Right.
you with that, so you can actually do the things that really matter, right?
Exactly.
Just to get into helping everybody.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
and that's why our health system is so crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people have Blue Cross Blue Shield, so that's going to be nice to one of those to carry.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, tell me this. Tell me what sport do people play that tears up their body the worst?
Oh gosh, that's loaded. That's a loaded one. Seriously, because like obviously the first one that comes to mind is like you think of like the injuries that people come into all the time, like football or something. You're getting beat up. It's like getting in a motor vehicle accident, every week. So obviously that's one that you think of like for like contact wear and tear.
Right.
But there's so many other ones. Like we see a lot of baseball kids that come in at certain times of the year because it's just the repetitive swinging in one direction. Same thing with golfers. So there's so many different ways of why people get hurt. Even like, wrestling, is a big one, or like jujitsu. I do some things with like martial arts people. That's a big one that like people get hurt because they're getting put into positions that are not comfortable, and then
say the least,
and then it's a lot of wear and tear and strain. But then you even get like the non-contact injuries, like with the basketball and the soccer, where you're just cutting and you're not touching anybody, but you just blow out your knee because of it. So yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, with my circle of where I'm at, especially being in a CrossFit gym, I see a lot of shoulders and back and everything from weightlifting.
Sure.
So I see a lot of weightlifters. But, yeah, I mean, in terms of sports, I think the easy one is just football, to say football.
I would assume that would be it, but I thought maybe, you never know.
Yeah.
Like what people are doing out here, too.
Right.
So with doing this, you seem like the kind of guy that I love people that are in service, right? You're doing what you love, but I'm sure so when I ask you what is the most gratifying part of your job? Like what is the most gratifying for you?
Yeah.
Getting somebody back on their feet?
Seeing a transformation. Yeah. Like the guy that was told he needed surgery and then just helping them do that without needing that and then doing more than what he was doing before. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, I've worked with Team USA Olympic level athletes. I've worked with professional CrossFitters, semi-pro mountain bikers. So a lot of these people, they need to get back to what they're doing too. So it kind of depends on what level you're at and where you're at. But yeah, just getting people's lives back.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wrote down some questions before I came in here, and I'm usually not prepared at all. I don't know what the hell I was doing this morning. I'm like, it's new year, new me. I like this one because I was thinking about, is there anything that athletes do, or you're watching people work out or do stuff that just makes you quietly cringe, don't. Because I don't know if most of the things you're dealing with is it because of their form and their things they do that they're doing it wrong or they're doing it too much, or probably a little of both, though, right? Yeah,
a little bit of both. I think form is definitely a factor in that. I think one of the biggest thing that kind of scares me, I guess, is when people are picking up a lot of weight for ego or something like that, and they have very little knowledge of mechanics. Now, mechanics aren't everything, but it can get scary. So I think that's the thing that scares me the most. I mean, the thing that I feel like I always want to critique people on, because it's not talked about enough, is especially related to your shoulders. Because I see a lot of shoulders. So a lot of times the shoulder pain that ends up happening is due to habits that have formed throughout our entire life. And a lot of people are like, why am I getting this now? And it's I can't explain why this is happening right now, but you have set patterns for yourself since you were a kid, and you've continued those through life, and now maybe you're 50, 60, whatever, and you've been doing them your whole life, and you're kind of slowly ruining your shoulder quietly. So I think one of the biggest things is when people lift their arm, oftentimes people will use their neck to do the movement, and people are and I want you to think about that. If you lift your arm, do you feel it on that side of your neck.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Because you shouldn't. That movement should actually come from your back, your shoulder blade.
Gotcha.
And so one of the most common things that I help people fix is like getting their shoulder blades to move. Everybody that I talk to, for the most part, will harp on the rotator cuff. Oh, you need a strong rotator cuff, or my rotator cuff's bad, that's why I can't lift. Unfortunately, I mean, yeah, it can be a part of it, but the shoulder blade itself and all of those back muscles that control it are actually, I would argue maybe a little more important or as important as the rotator cuff. And people don't talk about it and people don't know about it. And then you go years and years down the road and then you end up having a tear. So one of the most common tears that people will get, why they have rotator cuff, surgeries and things, is they'll tear their supraspinatus tendon and muscle, which is the one on the top kind of the shoulder blade near their neck. And the whole purpose of that one is lifting your arm up to the side. And the reason that happens is because if your shoulder blade isn't moving correctly, if it doesn't do this upward glide, it will actually create this impingement. And then over time, the bones are kind of wearing on that muscle and tendon, and it's basically sawing through it.
Oh, God.
And then that's what can cause a tear. So it doesn't need to be this big traumatic event. It literally just happens randomly one day because over a period of time when you've been lifting your arms, you've been slowly cutting that away because your mechanics weren't there. So that's why maintenance is huge, because even if your back is stiff, your neck is stiff, that can keep those shoulder blades not moving well, and then you're at more risk of, kind of agitating that area or causing a tear eventually, So, and not to be scared, you can totally function with tears. As we talked about with my other individual, you do not need to always get surgery. I mean, sometimes you do. I need to say that because some people are like, sometimes you do need to get surgery. Yeah, sometimes you do need to get surgery, and you do need to follow up with your surgeons about, especially with labrum and rotator cuffs. But sometimes you don't need to do that. It kind of, again, depends on specifically where you're at, and that's why you need to know specifically where you're at.
Right. Okay,
Sorry.
so no, I love
Going on these tangents, man.
I love it. So we start talking about shoulders, and I'm a big baseball guy, and I do a lot of youth coaching. So the thing that I've seen, because I played baseball 150 years ago, and as it comes on, seeing all these guys with arm problems early.
Yeah.
So the thought that I have is not only maintenance for these kids, but how early should these athletes be learning about what you're talking about, and as far as recovery, because I don't think the recovery seems to be a problem.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously earlier the better. I think getting, when people think strengthening, they think weight room, lifting all this weight, all this stuff, and there are limitations on when you should start that based on the child and that, right? But weightlifting doesn't have to be this, you're lifting 300 pounds over your head. It can be as simple as taking a rubber band and doing some basic activation exercises to get things working. And so you can start that pretty early. And I think a lot of times, I mean, I've even worked with some people that, one lady I remember, I met her at a CrossFit gym, but one of her goals was, I want to be able to throw a baseball with my kids because her kids were younger.
Awesome.
She wanted to be able to do that, and she couldn't because her shoulder was bothering her. We literally did one exercise with her to just prime a rotator cuff with a rubber band. No weights, just a rubber band that you can buy on Amazon for less than $10 for a set of 4.
Right.
And, she did those exercises and literally one set of 10, and she could now throw a baseball without pain.
Just with band work.
Just with the band work. Yeah, because sometimes that pain is actually because you're not stabilizing your shoulder effectively, and you just need to kind of get the neuromuscular firing from your brain to your rotator cuff to try to get it working a little bit better. So that's all it takes sometimes, is just doing one little set of 10 with the rubber band. So I think it's super common, or it's not as common, but it should be common with kids, just getting them started early with these, basic rubber band exercises, just working on rotator cuff strength was huge. And then recovery. Yeah, I think recovery is something that needs to be worked on a little bit more, and And sometimes the strengthening that we talked about with the rubber band will actually help with recovery too. So
I laugh because my son's pitching in college now, and his recovery, they talk about the recovery that they do. But when I was in high school and college, it was like if you're a pitcher, you came home and iced your elbow. That was recovery.
Yeah, that's it, right?
that was it. Which is funny. You wonder, but more kids seem to be hurt now. But I think that's a bunch of different reasons, though.
For sure, 100%.
But that is cool, and I think that just the well-being of kids, no matter what sport they're in, right? Because you can't throw any human being into doing something they haven't done before or overdoing it and expect to not be hurt, right? Because something's going to happen.
Yeah.
What's a normal age range of people you're seeing?
I would say generally I'm seeing 40s to like 65 range for people, but I do see some youth. So a lot of times people bring in their kids that are athletes, wrestling or soccer or whatever. So I get all ranges, anywhere from kids to adults, but mostly the adults, 40 to probably 65.
Okay. Yeah, when our bodies start getting a little worn down too, right?
That's right.
That's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I should be in there for about 50 different reasons right now, but I am not. All right. Have you had the chance to listen to a show? Have you listened to anything yet?
Yeah, I have listened to a little bit in the past, but just the sound bites basically from other, this stuff you've posted. Yeah. So
we have
not
fun.
full.
We have fun. It's funny that I don't believe in long form content, but at 32 minutes in, if you guys are listening, I really like you guys. You're really awesome. So the reason I ask you that is because we do something right at this point we call the Grayslake Hot Seat. So we have some rapid fire questions for you to get to know just a little bit more about Jake. All right. Are you ready? Are you game for this?
I don't know. We'll see.
I think you're going to be totally fine.
Should have prepped.
Well, this I don't think you can prep for, so that's good.
The Grayslake Hot Seat is brought to you by Joe Velez at JPV Financial. It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Now for the Grayslake Hot Seat. Hey, thanks, Joe.
So if your life was a story until now, what would the title be?
Oh, gosh.
I start you off hard one. That's fine.
If your life was a story.
Yeah, up until now.
Title? Until now?
Yeah.
Perseverance.
Love it. When you first meet someone, how does someone impress you?
I think the warming handshake and just like all of the body language that someone can give you.
Love it. Okay, I started you off hard on these. Have you ever eaten a roller dog from a gas station?
No.
Dang it. I thought we were friends, man.
No, I haven't.
No? Just out of fear, out of just good choices?
Fear.
Fear. Yeah. I actually just wrote a song about roller dogs that I'm going to be releasing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Tell me about an experience that you had in your life that initially you thought was bad, but turned out to be good and work in your favor.
They're so hard. Something that...
We can come back to that one if you'd like.
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe let's...
Okay, how about this? What kind of music do you listen to?
A little bit of everything, but I mean, mostly I'm like an alternative indie kind of person. Yeah, okay. But I grew up listening to like classic rock and roll,
Fun.
70s, 80s.
Nice.
With my dad.
What was your first car?
A 2001 Pontiac Sunfire. White.
All right. I can picture the car, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two-seater
cool.
with a little backseat, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would the 12-year-old version of yourself think you're cool?
I hope so. I think so.
That's probably the best answer.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Do you have a nickname?
Multiple.
Really? Let's hear them.
Goose is my main one.
Okay.
Because of my last name.
Yeah.
When I was a younger kid, I had a lot of energy, so Energizer Bunny was another one.
That's what we call my little guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any other ones. But yeah, Goose was the main one. People still call me Goose to this day.
All right, I'm gonna just call you Goose from now
Yeah.
on. Tell me something that you wish you'd learned sooner in life. I mean, you have a lot of life left, but something.
Yeah, right.
As a semi-adult show would go like.
Yeah, I mean, I can go a little off tangent on this because something recently just happened. Someone that I know just died. But it's cherish life. I'm younger, so obviously, I do have maybe a little bit more life left, but cherish the people around you. And kind of when you ask me about when you first meet somebody, what stands out, this person was the person that taught me this. Kevin Schwartz from Schwartz Insurance Company, he recently passed. And so I met him recently and through a business group and, wow. Yeah. Sorry to get off tangent.
Hey, no. But you know what? It's something about being present and,
Gotta be present. Exactly.
It's a huge thing. What is your middle name?
Paul.
Have you ever broken a bone?
Stress fracture in my foot.
Okay. If you and your fiance had to have a theme party at your house, what would the theme be?
Trying to think of what we've done in the past. I mean, she'll do like Halloween parties and stuff. Like that's probably the main one we do.
All right.
Yeah.
I know about you playing sports in high school.
Yeah.
When you eat tacos, if you eat tacos, do you tilt your head to the right or to the left?
Oh gosh.
So you have to do it, no. Without tearing anything.
I would say I tip it to the right, but I'm not sure. I think to the right.
So next time you're eating tacos,
I'm going to pay attention to that. I never
you can call me and be like, Dave, I know the answer.
Yeah.
Hey, bartender, can I have a...
I'm not a huge drinker, but generally I'm like a classic kind of craft beer kind of guy. Right. An amber.
Gotcha.
Amber lager.
Favorite sports team?
I'm going to... it's either if you're going NFL, Packers, but
right. I would say getting you in trouble here because you grew up in
otherwise
in
Wisconsin Badgers are my main go-to for basketball. So
nice. Last show you binge watched?
Last show I binge watched. What was that? Oh, it's that new one that came out. It's on Peacock. I can't think of what it's called. It's Her Fault.
I just finished it. Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah. That's the last one I binged.
Yeah, that one left me going, scratching my head.
Yeah.
Tell me about the second time you got arrested.
The second time. Never got arrested.
You're a smart guy. Some people wait and think and go, and then tell me.
Yeah.
That's actually a really fun day. Have you ever met a celebrity? And if so, who?
No, I mean, the most local celebrities I've met have been like the Team USA Olympian.
Yeah, that's cool.
Abby Raymond, young girl.
Yeah. I know Abby. Abby's on the show. Yeah, love Abby.
Yeah. So, Abby Raymond, Shaquem Graham, all those guys. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
See, now I have to reach out to Abby and say she got a shout out.
Right.
You. That's awesome.
I'm sure there's other people too, but I can't think of anybody offhand right now.
Nice. So. Last one. What's the last thing you purchased on Amazon?
I mean, it was just stuff for business.
Right.
So a bunch of supplies.
Nothing fun.
Yeah, nothing fun.
Dang it. Yeah. But you see why some of those, like, we get some. Yeah. We learn a lot about people sometimes.
For sure.
And I'm sure they don't even know what they're doing, but it's kind of fun. All right. Well, thank you for participating in that. I appreciate it. I know that people have a lot of choices when it comes to like physical therapy, things that they do. What do you think are some of the things that make you really stand out? It sounds like you get to do everything. So if I call, I get to talk to you. So that right there for me is a total bonus.
Right.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I try to basically apply. My slogan is we let everybody experience professional athlete level care. So,
I love that.
What does that mean? It means you get hands-on work with me. It means you get one-to-one, so full comprehensive treatment session based on what's going on. You picture, when you say that, your mind goes instantly to, some athlete in this recovery room with like, whether it's the big recovery boots on or like he's sitting in the ice bath or he's got like the TENS unit on him and all this stuff, or some professional doing body work on him. That's what I'm trying to basically give to everybody is that experience. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to that. With the cash services that we can provide, I'm able to kind of work on everybody's entire body. So, that includes cupping, scraping. We use devices like the neuromuscular electrostim devices to help stimulate your nerves and help get nerve function back. We've got the blood pressure, blood flow restriction devices, which basically allows for a high level of rehab. We kind of controlled, cut off some circulation to some tissues, which allows you to essentially load the tissues. Like for the easiest example is, say you have somebody that is they're struggling to get up out of the chair and they want to get stronger. You can strengthen them with using these devices, putting them on their leg, and it's as if they're squatting like 200 pounds, but they're really only just standing up out of the chair. There's a lot to go into that and how that actually works, but so we use a lot of this high level tech to help people, and then you get you get access to me, which I help people a lot of times after hours. If somebody needs help, I don't want to fully tout that because I do want a life, but right. So there's just so many ways of how we're different, from the whole patient experience of coming into the door and me knowing you to all of the modalities that we talked about. Yeah. So
I love that. Tell me this, and I appreciate that very much. There's nothing like personal service, and having all of those things to be available is great. Yeah. Tell me something that maybe somebody has a problem with that I wouldn't think, because you just mentioned like cupping and scraping, and that maybe somebody wouldn't think that you would have, or like one of the treatments or something that you do. Like, I always like people to know, like, you might think it's common because you work every day and you're too close to it, but I'd love to let people know like other services you do, like. And what do people do cupping for anyway? What is cupping?
Yeah.
Besides giving you hickeys all over your body.
Yeah. So cupping is awesome for certain applications more than others, but essentially cupping is you take cups. They can be neoprene, they can be plastic, glass, and it's not like the old days where you take the glass jar and you put it on your back and you light it on fire and that's what gives you the hickey, But basically, you can still do that. But the way I do it is it's just, cups. They're either glass or plastic, and then they have a pumper on there that creates a vacuum. And what it's basically doing is pulling up the layers of the skin and the fascia in that area to help create blood flow to that area. So it pushes blood in there, which helps it heal. But I think one of the most underrated benefits of it is it helps the layers of your skin and your fascia and your muscles move better. So a lot of times when people come to see me, they've seen massage therapists before, they've seen acupuncturists, they've seen chiros, they've seen other therapists, but nobody gets specific enough to find out that they have a fascial restriction in a certain area, or sometimes there's it's scary to say this to people, and I hate eliciting fear, but sometimes people will get dead spots around their neck. So essentially what that means is if you have a forward head for a period of time, those tissues are stretched out for quite a long period. So people say that their neck feels really tight. But in reality, it's not necessarily tight. It's actually that your muscles in your neck have been stretched out for such a long period of time. And now your muscles are having to hold that position. And whenever your muscles are lengthened, they're weaker. So if you ever look at holding some weights or something like that, if you bend your elbow to 90 degrees, it's really strong. If you straighten it out, it's weak. If you bend it all the way up, it's weak. So there's a relationship between the tension of your muscle, your positioning, and how much force it can provide. So if you apply that to the neck, if you have poor posture and you stick your head out, your neck muscles are stretched out, and so they're going to be really weak in that position, and now you're telling it to hold that position for a long period of time, and that's when people's necks start getting crabby. And so, basically, I know we went down a different tangent here, but in those situations, you just need to actually strengthen your neck rather than stretch your neck.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
And there's some techniques that I use. So I use, like, again, with my neurological background, my neuro background, I use PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. You should have all your guests say that word in the future. Exactly. Basically, it's a fancy word for, like, contract relax is one of the methods you can do. So it's a method that I use almost every day in the clinic with people. So I'm able to get somebody, say they come in, great example would be my hamstrings feel tight. We can literally just have them, I usually have their leg thrown over my shoulder and have them push down as hard as they possibly can. And then I say relax, and then they'll gain 20 degrees. And then we do it again, and you might gain another 5 and another 5 and another 5. And so, that's why a lot of people are sitting there stretching, and unfortunately, I feel like they're kind of wasting their time, because what actually gives you that range of motion isn't you actually pulling the tissues apart, because your brain is always going to have those tissues slightly overlapping. And so what you do instead is you kind of hack into the brain, because your brain's the control board, and you'd be like, all right, brain, show me what fully contracted is, and then show me what fully relaxed is. And then when you do that, it basically tells the brain, oh yeah, like, why was I holding tension here in my shoulders? I got to have that now. That tension should be this. It should be at rest, So people instantly will feel better, feel lighter, feel, more range of motion just by doing one thing. So
that's awesome.
So I think I went on a whole thing to say, but I think the PNF, which is just a manual therapy technique that I use, is huge, and why a lot of people actually come see me or stick around, because I'm able to kind of push on spots or find spots that people have had for a while, but nobody else found, and then kind of do contract relax. It's hard to explain without actually working on somebody and showing them, without video content or something, because I know this is voice.
No, it makes sense to me, though.
This is voice, so you kind of need to see it. But so PNF is huge, is a huge technique. But going back to cupping just pulls the layers of the fascia apart so that they move better. And kind of decreases some of that tone that your brain is telling it to. So it kind of helps everything move better, and then decreases some pain. So common spots to use it on are like your shoulder blades, your back. It does leave those marks for like quite a while, sometimes 2 weeks for people. Yeah. But it's really helpful.
Wow, interesting. I need to look into that too.
Yeah.
All right. So as we're wrapping up here,
sure.
If people go to, I noticed that on your Facebook site that you had way over 100 videos on there of tips of things for people who can work on it. So tell everybody what that site is, or where you want people to follow. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Or where is it? And what are the names?
All of them, please. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So Flex Forward PT on YouTube is that handle, and then I think it's Flex. I can't even remember. Flex _ Forward PT on Instagram. Would be the other one.
So that's the gram.
The gram. Yeah, otherwise you can follow my local one or my personal one if you want. Dr. Jake Giese on Instagram. That's my personal account, but I generally will link Flex Forward one.
Yeah, because I was looking on Flex Forward Physical Therapy and Wellness LLC.
Yeah.
And
so that's my Facebook group.
Yeah,
or that's my Facebook page. Yep.
A lot of really cool, helpful videos on there too.
Yeah.
I looked through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so basically right now, obviously I have the in-person clinic thing, but I also like I said, I want to move healthcare forward, and that does entail things online, and so I try to post out a lot of content with tips and tricks and how to help, keep people in the gym, or, I'm very fitness focused. I think fitness is very underrated when it comes to feeling better. So a lot of people that unfortunately don't feel they're great, maybe aren't taking care of their body as well as they should with their fueling, their sleep, their general health hygiene, as well as like their fitness. So you can fix a lot of issues with that, and it doesn't have to be, again, super scary lifting weights. You can literally push rubber bands, or I'll tell people there people are like, I don't have time. Like, if you're brushing your teeth, get a march in, or do some squats while you're brushing your teeth. Basically try to, attach a habit to something that you're already doing. So,
great advice.
Or watching TV, stand up every minute. You're going to be standing up quite a bit. If people are sitting for an hour, 2 hours watching TV, that's quite a bit of stand-up sit-downs.
Yeah, that's true. Thinking about the last show you binge watched, if you did that every minute, you get a lot of workout in. Right?
Exactly.
So that's great
60
advice.
of them.
That's right.
Yeah, at least.
Well, thank you for all of your advice, and thanks for coming in. It was nice to get, because I love getting the community to know new people. So
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm coming to see you, by the way. Too.
Yeah.
So Grayslake, hey, speaking of that, thank you so much for wherever you guys are listening, and one more reason to hit the subscribe button on any platform you're at, because that way every Tuesday you get to know somebody new from the community. So, Jake, thank you so much.
No problem.
Grayslake, here's another thing. I'm going to give you a challenge today, as well as we always do at the end, is random acts of kindness. We don't know what our friends or family members, or even just a stranger on the street is going through. So a simple smile, or opening the door for someone, just being kind. Maybe text a friend today that you know is down on their luck. So do that for me. It makes the world a better place, and kindness spreads like wildfire. So, all right. Grayslake, thank you guys so much for listening. Jake, once again, thank you, buddy. And Grayslake, we'll see you next Tuesday, everyone.